Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin in Tucson, Arizona. Thanks for joining us today for a video that is a open roll video, so kind of excited for that, and a cherry picking video, so kind of excited for that. As always, like, share, subscribe. Some of you are seeing here I've got my magic gloves on, and we're ready to have a little bit of fun with an original roll of 1985 Banco de Mexico Onzas here. So we've got these 1 ounce silver pieces that are super popular. The original rolls all crimped up on the edges as they are with plastic on either end, holding them in there. And so we're going to talk a little bit about individual grades and the other things that we look for. Here you have a sealed edge. You can see it's a little broken on this side there, but it is sealed where it counts. And so let's go ahead and break that seal. This will be sacrilegious for some of you guys, and for some of you it's probably you couldn't care less. So but thanks for being here, leaving your comments, liking, sharing, subscribing. And let me see, maybe I'll just pop it open from this end. Let me do that. Maybe the crimped edge or the cut edge. I don't know that it matters. Does it really matter? Does it really matter? I don't think it really matters. Be careful not to actually get the coin under there. We'll do this side. So what are we looking for here, guys? So let's talk a little bit about the 1985 Libertads and what it is that we will be looking for. Well, we'll be looking to not break any of them here, not get them scratched up. So what I'm trying to do is to get them to not interact with each other too much. You hear the clanking there. We want to try to get them to not do that very much. And there's a couple things to be known about these coins in particular, this particular date. From my perspective, if I'm trying to get these into holders and also still be able to sell them and still be able to make money on them, basically at the MS67 grade, we'll be looking at coins that trade for that $65 to $70 range. So you'll be looking at coins that might be worth getting sent in for grading. And the MS68 grades, you'd be looking at coins that trade for $120, so that's happy. And also we'd be looking for things like laminations, strike-through errors. That is something that we see actually with some frequency on this series, and those oftentimes will trade at that $100 to $200 range. Hopefully we'll find some of those, because what I want to be able to show you is kind of the difference between a strike-through and just a contact mark. So you see mark up here, contact mark, and you had like a mark down here, that's a contact mark. And then on this side, and the coins are just absolutely stunning, lovely coins. You'll see these are all contact marks in the middle. So those are all things that on a coin of the caliber we're looking for, I want to be able to see somewhere between like 0 and none. All right, so I don't want to see very many contact marks on any of these coins at all. Just comparing these first two coins that we're looking at here, you'll see that their contact marks are fewer and further between. You don't have those big marks right on the belly that you did on the other one. There's a couple contact marks up here at the top. And when you have a group of coins, it's a little easier because you can do this or that, right? So here we've got a little bit of a bigger mark off to the side. So once again, I'm probably, if I see anything that's like really kind of a bigger mark, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to say no to it. I figure like a mark like that's going to stop a coin from being a 67. Even though these coins are remarkably beautiful, just at a glance, you can already tell. This was our end one. Is this the end one? Nope. I'm looking for the plastic. I don't know where that went. It's probably still in the tube. I just wasn't paying attention. Once again, we've got a... Oh, here's something that looks like it could be a strike through way at the top. Let me see, but very, very minor could be a wire brush strike through, super tiny. It's coming off of the denticle mark. So you go looking to the right of the wreath and up into that denticle. It looks like there's a impressed line upon there. Once again, you're getting to lots of little marks, little scuff marks like these guys here, but that's nowhere near as thick as the set of marks. Though these marks are a little heavier right there in the middle. Take a quick look here, see if we can see any type of laminations. We've seen some big contact marks over by the snake. One thing I will say for all of these so far is that their brilliance is fantastic. Just fantastic. This coin, all right, well, I'm just wishing there weren't this little mark off to the side, because this coin definitely has the right look to it. You've seen fewer and fewer contact marks. This mark off to the right is a mystery, because that mark is not like a hit. It's something else. Let's hope the reverse looks as good on this as the obverse did. Yeah, those marks are not actual contact marks. This has something going on up here that there's an outside chance if I just give this a short dip in some acetone. This looks like it's some type of a extra, it's not a part of the metal. It's something on top of the surface. And I'm really liking this coin though overall as something that would be in the date range to, break even and or do better. But this coin also, I probably need to be able to do, I probably need to be able to get that stuff off the surface to make it worth doing. So far, all of the ones that I definitely think I'm going to reject have been going off. I've been swiping left here. So here we go again, another brilliant, brilliant coin. And once again, bigger marks are going to just knock you out of the ballpark here. And hopefully we'll see something else that's extracurricular, that's a good type of extracurricular, something like a lamination. Yeah, great looking coins. The reverse is absolutely stunning on this piece. Probably, this could almost maybe go into my maybe pile. I'm gonna create a maybe pile though. I got the ones that I was pretty sure I would just pass on. They're gonna go off the screen here. The ones I think I'll send in, but that might need a little love. But this one up here is in my maybe pile. Now let's see what's going on with this guy here. We've got a lot of weakness in the strike over here. You just see that all those little edge marks are kind of bumpy looking, instead of really strong and well formed. All right, we got another obverse that just looks like it could be a winner. That reverse doesn't thrill me. This has a number of, a lot of like die polish or roller marks here, but coming off the wings, you see what looks like lines coming straight up and down here from behind her neck to the left side wing to under the arm. All those lines are indicative of like roller lines for when the planchet itself was rolled out. All right, I'm kind of feeling the love on this after all. It's got this little bit of stuff going on here that I'm not happy with, but overall, I think it's a pretty nice coin. And the thing is, like I said before, once we compare them one to another, we can get to a point where it's like, yeah, I'm just going to take the nicest ones I can find and send them in. Once again, you can see a coin that's really brilliant. Looking for any marks that would kind of disqualify it. This guy here has kind of some belly button piercings going on, scuffs on the arm. We're going to go ahead and probably say no to it. Sometimes we can't say no to it, but we're going to say no. On this guy, I feel like there's a lot of scuffiness compared to the last, the three that are up here. Okay, once again, easy to eliminate for me. I still look kind of for some laminations. You compare this to the other ones. This is almost the scuffiest one we've seen, right? We got some scuffs all through here, all across the surface there. A lot of little chingaderos in the field there. I will look at the reverse as well. Of course, the reverse is stunning. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right, next up. Oh, here's a strike through. Okay, this is what we've been talking about. I'll probably send this in. So this piece of metal right here is just gone. And that is, you can see how it is more of a white color as though, as opposed to the marks that have been bag marks turn into a bright satin area where it's scuffed up. You see this very dull matte finish. Oftentimes where the metal is peeled up or struck through, you'll have that look as opposed to that bright look that you see when you see the contact marks. But that one I think is going to have to go into the send pile just for that little lamination. I'd still like to get it into a holder. Okay, so right away another beautiful lustrous coin, but right away your eyeball goes to that big mark across the top. For those of you who collect these guys, I'd be curious your thoughts on collecting it all by strike. You know, one of the things that I haven't exactly pointed out yet is just the difference in strike. I pointed out that some of them have the identical areas here that are really soft, like the reverse of the one coin that looks like it has the fewest contact marks. But then again, you know, there's the whole full head competition that you have on the Standing Liberty quarters. And, you know, some of these guys here, you're going to have very different strikes in general, just based on, you know, from one coin to the next. Once again, you've got all that roller dies and or die polish. Actually, on this coin, it looks a whole lot more like die polish than roller dies. Interesting coin. I kind of feel like I like this coin, even though it's got some noticeable marks on the front. Yeah, I'm feeling like I like this coin. It doesn't have any really heavy marks to it. And you can see, especially in the fields, right? So when you look in those big open fields above the eagle, to the left and the right, pardon me, the angel, just a nice matte finish. I'm going to put that into the pile over here of coins that I'm pretty sure I'll be sending off for grading. Okay, once again, you know, I'm picking up on, you know, the contact marks here on the left side of the field really quick, coming up on either side of the one. And the other thing, as we talk about this, to do, at least for me to do and possibly anybody else to do, is to actually find some coins that are currently graded in 67 and 68 holders and understand just how many contact marks they have or don't have. So we're not doing it completely blind. CAC grading, who does not do antique, does not do world coins or ancient coins, CAC grading has, you know, a grading set that you can refer back to and say, oh yeah, this coin, you know, this is what a 67 should look like. This is what a 66 should look like. Once again, on a coin like this, we're just nitpicking to get to the finest we can find. Lots of small chatter marks off to the left on this side. So that would kind of move me into my no thank you column with the marks over yonder. And once again, you know, plenty of these coins look stunning that are probably not going to get sent in for certification. But unless you can get it to be amongst the finest known. By the way, MS67 and 68 are what we're talking about. I just doubt that I'd ever see a 69 here, but also in general terms, if you got a 69 out of a graded, you know, a grading out of these, that's something like $1,000 coin. Hard to really know exactly. They trade so infrequently. Once again, attractive, but I'm going no with all the little chatter marks here. Down to the back half, back third, back quarter of the tube. Once again, I'm picking up on little chatter marks here and over yonder there, over hill, over dale. Not picking up on any extra activity, laminations, struck through, that type of thing. Yeah, by the way, because some of you were worried, I found the plastic. There we go. Looks like we got about 5 coins left there. Overall, no super big marks on this one, but still a lot of distracting marks going on. A lot of minor contact marks. Don't see any strike-through laminations. We've had some of them where the edge was peeling up on these. The lamination was that kind. So what do we got so far? It looks like if we get out of 20 coins here, if we get to 5, it looks like we may be lucky. Okay, even though I can see the contact marks right away on this coin, I really like it. You know, there's some contact marks here and here. But I really like that coin. I'm going to put that into my definitely maybe pile over here with the other ones. I like that one. Super brilliant, which causes the problem of being able to see those marks pop, big papa. So once again, the heavy lines on a coin like that are just going to put it out of the grading hemisphere. This one actually has a number of little contacts on the reverse too that we were not seeing so much on a bunch of the other reverses. And looks like there's 2 left here. All right, I'm feeling the love on this guy. Let's hope the obverse and reverse match up nicely. You know, the contact marks on this are above the head, so they're a little bit more obvious. But also, you know, the other contact marks I think are mostly hidden. Super strong look to the coin overall. It's going to go into my definitely maybe pile. And the last coin here, well, I mean, once again, this one, you're not seeing any of those obvious marks popping up in the fields. Yeah, that one's a winner. I think this is possibly the best coin in the group. This has the strike through. And then we've got, this one has the little bit of schmutz on it that I'm hoping will come off. But I think these two are probably the winners in the group. You know, you just end up nitpicking on these guys. So looks like there's a pretty good chance I'll end up sending in 8 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's 8. Something like that, yeah. And then the other ones that we put off to the side I will probably not be sending in. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here today. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.